welcome back to another week of Masters Clash. We're getting right on into it. Let me go ahead and pop us over into the draft right here. We started a little bit quicker than I had anticipated. We have a little bit of internet issues right now with our co-caster, but the lobby just went right on ahead, so we're getting right back into it, and hopefully Crushinator will be able to rejoin us soon. But for series number 1 today, out of 5, normally there's 4 series in a day, but unfortunately Oxygen versus Rage Quit Gaming was unavailable to be played on Sunday due to some time conflicts on Sunday with CCL. So Oxygen and Rage Quit Gaming had to reschedule their game to be appended onto Saturday's games. So today we're going to be going over 5 series, and tomorrow we will be going over 3 series. But we're starting it out with Bangbush versus Inting for Ruby on Infernal Shrines. Pretty typical map. As I've said in the past, one of the most favored competitive maps for Heroes of the Storm. Infernal Shrines and Towers of Doom typically up in a league of their own in terms of just classic competitive integrity, and we're about to see some more of that right here. I'm personally looking forward to it. I always hate to see the Hanzo get taken out because he's one of my favorites, but hey, Tracer's still on the table if a team ever decides to pull it out, which I would love to see. What are we going to have here for our first pick from Bangbush? We have Lucio, for whom Ty is stepping in for Bangbush today, and I believe over there on the other side we have BRB Soaking also stepping in for Inting for Ruby. So we have a sub for each team at the moment. Pretty normal stuff. There's always here and there's always one little scheduling conflict when you're talking about each team. We got 4 series a day, 5 players per team, 2 teams per thing. It's always going to be like 1 or 2 people have a scheduling conflict, and so we got a subs here. And now Sylvanas and Blaze being picked up by Bangbush. Kerrigan Uther, on the other hand, very early picked by Inting for Ruby. Almost, I think, potentially showing their hand a little too early. This, to me, indicates the potential for looking for a burst blow up, but, of course, Inting for Ruby can always retool this into a double support comp, and in fact, they have Fish on that Uther, who is notably their main tank player, so they could be trying to indicate that this is a double support composition that they have in mind, but of course, they could still play this, trade the Uther over to their healer player, and play this for a single player, a single healer comp, not quite single player, there are 5 people on the team. So there's a couple different options for what Inting for Ruby can do right here, as Stukov gets banned away on the side of Bangbush, not wanting to deal with that double support Uther Stukov right there. The CC chain would be immense if we could see Hammer of Justice, followed up by Kerrigan's Stun, followed up by the Lurking Arm from Stukov. Notably, notice how I didn't use the stun name for Kerrigan, because I don't remember exactly what it is at the top of my head. It's like Blades something, it's roughly in there, but it is going to be a double support from Inting for Ruby as we see BRB Soaking picking up that Samuro, and Nox going to be on that Ana here today for us. Of course, whenever you have double support on Infernal Shrines, or really anywhere, you're looking for those big 5-on-5s, but if you have double support on Infernal Shrines, you are particularly looking for it to win the shrine itself. You are looking to 5v5 on shrines as much as possible, win through your excellent team fight. Oh, but there is a Mephisto. Mephisto often considered one of the counters to double support through being able to pour out just so much ludicrous amounts of sustained damage that he's able to counter it and keep pace with the high amount of healing with that 5-on-5 pressure. And of course, I mentioned a second ago 5-on-5s. Mephisto loves to play in 5-on-5s. He wants as many targets around as possible to get as much cooldown reduction as possible. Gunner picking up the Nazebo on the other hand for the members of Inting for Ruby. This is a bit of an interesting composition right here with Kerrigan Nazebo as the DPS for the members of Inting for Ruby. And I'm not exactly sure what the Samuro does within this composition, as I feel that Samuro's weakness out of anything he does is his team fight. Yet I said before, whenever you have a double support composition, you are of course looking for that team fight. But let's go ahead and wait for this game to get started. As you can see, I'm in a different room now, so my lighting's a little bit different. Everything in here looks a little bit different. I am getting ready to have my vocal booth. I am gonna build it right over here behind me. once it's here, probably at the end of the day. Like, I'm just waiting on a few key materials to come in that I can build it. Then you're going to see it in the backgrounds of my streams from now on, but we are waiting on that to come in. Give it just a second. We are still waiting on Crushinator to have his internet come back up. Unfortunately, he's just not able to be with us at the moment. But that is a-okay. We soldier on regardless as we wait for game number 1 between Bangbush and Inting for Ruby here today. Just getting everything set up. First game of the day, you know. Got to give me a little bit of setup time here as we wait for game number 1. I'm really intrigued to see how the Samuro fits within this composition for Inting for Ruby, though. We have a full double support team, as now our game is getting ready to get started, so let's slide on over into it. On our right side, for the members of Inting for Ruby, we have Nox on Ana, Fish777 on Uther, BRB Soaking, subbing in today on the Samuro, Mindhawk and the Kerrigan, and Gunner's going to be playing Nazebo. I see that the points have been redeemed for the Women Want Me Fish Fear Me hat. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me right now because of the new room. My apologies, your points will be refunded. Thank you, Monthsmind. For the left side, for Bangbush, we have Lauber on that Johanna, Skoog, I want to say Skoog, I've been saying that, I don't know if it's like horrifically wrong, Skoog on the Mephisto, Ty on Lucio, Swamp Grota on that Blaze, and Bishops playing Sylvanas. Already some early pressure onto this top lane from the members of Bangbush. Always expect to see some side lane cheese whenever you've got a Sylvanas in the game. Meanwhile, the members of Inting for Ruby just clearing ahead in that mid lane. Push not super successful for the members of Bangbush right there. Expertly identified, scouted out by the members of Inting for Ruby, able to avoid losing out on any large structures early in the game, not going to drop a tower. And now the members of Inting for Ruby just looking to get a bit of lane clear here. Mindhawk, though, finding himself the first recipient of a gank in today's MC games, actually turns around and goes for the stun combo into the 4 members of Bangbush, but that will lead to him being the first blood of today. BRB Soaking, on the other hand, smacking this Blaze up in the top lane. Fish looking for vision control, but it looks like Bangbush has no interest in going for the invasion of this camp just yet. And now here it actually is, Fish77 dropping the hammer and then walking right on out of there. This is actually a Gunner gank on a top lane. Swamp Grota, with the assistance of that Pyromania, able to survive that 40 armor, certainly coming in clutch right there. And now Ty looking to play a little interference, catch a little bit of soak for their offlaner potentially. Gunner now forced to back out. BRB Soaking, oh, almost got interrupted by Ty there as he looks for it, and now Mindhawk and Nox taking the siege camp for Inting for Ruby after an early camp advantage on the side of Bangbush. Now Skoog getting ready to get started on this camp, maybe not. We see Lauber scouting out, will get sleep darted by Nox as Mindhawk secures the siege camp capture for Inting for Ruby. I'm waiting to see, it looks like, sorry about that, we have Samuro actually going down. Crushinator has informed me that his internet is still down. He is trying another reset. Hopefully we'll be able to get him here soon, as Bishops and Swamp Grota now pressuring on the top lane. Mindhawk looking for the stun combo, not able to find it, will get jet propulsion by Swamp Grota, walking on out of there, losing about half his HP, but he's not done yet. Nox lands the sleep dart onto Swamp, and the stun combo from Kerrigan will not land. Ty and Fish doing a little bit of a dance between these side lanes right here, exchanging abilities. And Lauber losing a lot of HP mid lane thanks to the efforts of BRB Soaking, doing just a little bit of harassment right there. Now Swamp Grota and Bishops taking bruisers for the side of Bangbush, but no similar effort on the side of Inting for Ruby. This will present a macro challenge for the members of Inting for Ruby, having to deal with that top lane pressure while simultaneously contesting objective number 1. And now Mindhawk finds himself a little bit on an island right here as Fish is zoned out by the members of Bangbush, now looking to loop around and join the members of his team. BRB Soaking also in there. He is not level 7 notably, so he will not have the Burning Blade just quite yet, as Mindhawk is pushed in, loses a little bit of HP, but they're going to be fine overall. Notably, Spider-Built Nazebo coming out right here. That's a personal favorite for me, but this is looking like an easy early macro advantage for Bang Bush. They still have that Bruiser Camp pushing top lane. They've got an overwhelming lead on this first objective as the stun combo from Mindhawk lands onto Swamp Grota. Everything is going out onto Swamp, but it's not quite enough to finish him off. However, Ty, on the other hand, Ty gets stunned by the Uther, but will also be able to walk right on out of there unbothered. BRB Soaking now returning to that top lane where his entire front gate is missing thanks to some early push efforts by Bang Bush. Let's see if we have an update. I don't know what's going on. Going to Keep Trying has been called by Crushinator. He is working on it. Unfortunate, but he will hopefully be back here soon as BRB Soaking taking a bit of damage here in the top lane. Trying to escape from the pressure from... Oh, that's a double sleep dart from Nox right there to save BRB Soaking's life. Excellent play there. And it looks like we're going to see the swap trick. There it is. BRB Soaking swapping right on back into the action. And there's two fights going on here. I'm going to try not to miss anything. Mindhawk now taking a lot of damage in mid lane. Very likely to go down. Ty stepping forward will find the kill. 3 kills to 0 in favor of Bang Bush to start out this game. Gunnar also dropping dangerously low, but his 2 supports have arrived onto the scene. Gunnar's going to be A-okay for just this moment. Ty still looking for a bit of harassment on the side lane. 3 members of Bang Bush here pressuring out these structures, and this is an early lead in the macro in the push department for the members of Bang Bush. Bang Bush now immediately transitioning from that mid-objective push directly into a camp, continuing this macro lead, knowing they've got the advantage in camp timings, will now look for the invade here as Fish scouting for a moment. Hold on a second though, Ty getting in there a little bit ahead of his teammates, and that was all that the members of Inting for Ruby needed to catch him out. Inting for Ruby picking up their first kill of the game. Now Mindhawk looking for it, scouting out a bit. This is currently a 4-on-4 as, oh, there's the stun combo onto Swamp Grota, who did manage to land the Pyromania onto themselves before the stun came out, getting that crucial 40 armor yet again just as they needed it. But now here's BRB Soaking arriving onto the scene as well, flashing a look at our talents. BRB Soaking actually hopping over the wall as they look for the kill onto Swamp. Gonna swap right on out of there before Inting for it. However, Swamp Grota forced to use the tap. BRB Soaking gonna hop right on out of there, now getting chased by Ty a bit. Ty thinks better of it, going to decide against it. Bishop's pressuring this mid fort though, and Fish is doing all they can, but this is an insurmountable amount of pressure. This mid fort looks like it'll go down actually with the members of Inting for Ruby coming in to assist Fish. The mid fort will be preserved for yet another day. However, bottom is now the question, as this bottom siege camp has been secured for Bang Bush. There's Endurance of Hatred under the gate, followed up by a Blessed Shield onto Gunnar. Mindhawk looking for it, will not land the Kerrigan combo. Everything's being used right now. Lauber now getting stunned under towers, tanking everything. Lauber's dropping very, very low, but will not go down just quite yet. Swamp Grota jet propulsioning in onto Mindhawk, not going to find anything, and after a lot of ado, nobody going to go down just quite yet. Lauber, once walking out of that fight, will hit our first pause of the day. And I'm going to use this pause time right here to go ahead and post to Twitter and Discord, because we kinda went into this game a little bit faster than I had anticipated. It was the normal time, but I was about to speak up and say that our co-caster would not be here today. And unfortunately, I did not get the chance to do so, so I'm going to use this moment to just go ahead and drop my links everywhere. Alrighty, there it is. I tuned in and seeing an Inting for Ruby Samuro. Oh no, oh no. Lauber hit by lightning? Lauber hit by lightning or some... Alrighty. Johanna only gets lightning at level 20. Lauber apparently lagging out of his mind, freshly off of the tap back here. But it looks like there may be a bit of waiting. Hopefully this will give us time for Crushinator to follow us back in for the commentary here today. Members of Inting for Ruby surely will look for their siege camp out of this. The other 2 siege camps available, both being recently taken by the members of Bang Bush. Mockery, not a friend of animals, dropping his links everywhere. That's pretty funny. Bookshelf fell over in the living room. How does that happen? Wow. Okay. I imagine everyone in the comms must have heard that then. There must have been like a loud bang or something. That's pretty funny. But it looks like we are ready, and we're going to resume the action here after the lightning has struck, but is revealed to only be a bookshelf. Everything is a-okay. And now, no camp just quite yet for the members of Inting for Ruby. Lava running right back onto the scene. BRB soaking over there on that Samuro, soaking out the top lane. Meanwhile, both teams thinking about this siege camp right here, at least giving it a bit of a look. Lobber still hanging out nearby, trying to get some scouting done. Will flashlight out Fish, revealing his position. And yet again, leading into objective number 2, we see Bangbush taking their bruiser camp, but no similar efforts being done by Inting for Ruby to secure their own. Mindhawk now flanking onto the scene, over the wall, lands the stun onto Tai, followed up by the sleep dart. Wow, okay. That's one of the flashier plays I've seen done, if not the flashiest play I've seen done by Inting for Ruby. Already 2 over wall kills attempted by the members of Inting for Ruby today. BRB soaking, of course, hopped over the fort wall earlier. Lobber about to get his hearth interrupted by BRB soaking, just trying to be a nuisance over here, preventing Lobber from getting out when he wants to. Bishops will be able to successfully hearth, but what a kill by Mindhawk. I'm gonna flash talents for you right there, Cavalier Guest. Thank you for the request. Now Bruiser Camp 4, Bangbush pressuring out this top lane, meaning Inting for Ruby will not have a huge vision advantage, and there's another Kerrigan combo, but Tai is there with the high five to prevent his teammate from going down. Jet propulsion lands onto BRB soaking from Swamp Grota. And now there is a large advantage in favor of Bangbush on this objective. Blue team now destroying a fort is the callout that I've heard. I think mid fort may have just gone down, or that may have been a bug. Either way, I'm just looking up here at this top action. This will be a Bangbush objective number 2 of the game right here, able to secure it without too much fuss, but not a massive XP advantage in their favor just quite yet. This game's certainly slightly less bloodthirsty than a lot of other games we have cast in Masters Clash. Only 3 kills to 2, 9 minutes into the game. Level 13 secured for Bangbush, and around to the corner for Inting for Ruby. That's actually a dead Samuro in the bot lane. I'm not quite sure how that happens, to be honest. I've seen more ganking of Samuro in these 2 Inting for Ruby games than I see in almost any Samuro game. It's a bit interesting. Level 13 secured for both teams. Bangbush going to back away from this keep, not too interested in attempting to finish it off, as we see a skirmish breaking out in mid lane. Kerrigan landing the stun combo onto Lobber, but not able to finish him off. Durance of Hatred just barely not connecting onto Nox. Extremely close on the land right there. Oh, the cleanse from Fish, expertly timed to allow Mindhawk to be able to escape right there. Well done. And now the members of Inting for Ruby are on the offensive after having defended. Now Mindhawk stepping in here, has the Ravenous Spirit backing him up, able to dive right on in there, and he has no fear whatsoever, landing the stun combo onto Sylvanas. It's a double kill for Inting for Ruby, thanks to the efforts of Mindhawk and friends. Make that soaking in the backline, making it a triple kill. And now Skoog finds himself in the middle of multiple members of Inting for Ruby, making a quadra kill. Tai, now the only member of Bangbush to escape, is running on out of here. BRB soaking, looking at them, but will not be able to find anything. Inting for Ruby, this is exactly what they needed, going up 6 kills to 4 now, getting an XP advantage, and granting them the ability to go for the invade on this camp. Now Tai over here scouting out what the members of Inting for Ruby are doing, giving his team vision of what's going on right here. Just skating on around, making sure not to get himself too close to danger. As Kerrigan, actually does land yet another stun onto Swamp Grota, forcing out the bunker right there. Swamp Grota goes in, however, directly onto Nox, with Tai helping them out, and that is a double kill out of nowhere for Bangbush, with the counter engage expertly timed right there on the defense. Now Fish getting run down by Tai, by Lobber. Tai probably going to use that off the wall. That is actually a subwoofer pick by Tai right there, and Fish will escape. Gunner now running away from the members of Inting for Ruby. I'm going to bring those talents back up so we can see those 16s now freshly picked by Inting for Ruby. Gunner going to go ahead and get dropped. Bangbush getting a couple kills right back. They were behind for just a moment, and then it seems like as soon as they respawned, they got back to killing Inting for Ruby. Both teams having secured their level 16, and with Nazeebo still down for just under 30 seconds, Bangbush is going to go ahead and invade this siege camp. Meanwhile, the members of Inting for Ruby taking, I want to say, their first bruiser camp of the game. 12 minutes in, over there in the top side. And now Bangbush pressuring out onto this bottom lane. Nazeebo 5 seconds away from respawning at the moment as Mindhawk is lurking. Looks for the stun combo, does land it onto Bishops, and that is a deletion of Bishops by Mindhawk right there, demonstrating Kerrigan's ability to just absolutely pop somebody from out of vision. Very well done, and it couldn't have come at a better time right before this next objective. Now the members of Inting for Ruby setting up for this objective. They do have BRB soaking, pressuring out that top fort. So this is actually a 4-on-4 out here on objective. Fish taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Bunker used by Swamp Grota. Fish popping that benediction. Multiple members of Bangbush in there. There's Endurance of Hatred going out onto the members of Inting for Ruby. Uther is first to fall. But of course, Uther, if you have anybody you want to die first, it is him. He's going to go and get that healing onto Mindhawk, pumping him full, giving him that armor. Mindhawk looking for the clear, and this whole time BRB soaking has been pressuring onto this top keep, but Sylvanas with the respawn is coming back for the defense, and now fresh off of his tap, Lobber coming in here, looking to pressure onto this objective. Does not have Blessed Shield available. Mindhawk though lurking in the back line, lands the stun onto Ty, and is in there. Nox getting pressured by Lobber, does not like to have someone sitting on them as the Ana. That's something you would like to avoid if at all possible. And this is now going to be a 5-on-5 in just a moment. Mindhawk stunning the air wonderfully. And now Gunner finds himself deep in the members of Bangbush. Not exactly where he wants to be, will go down. BRB soaking getting a little bit of clear on the objective with the Blade Storm, but now must enact evasive maneuvers to try and get out of here. Very notably, that top bruiser camp still pushing away on top keep for the members of Inting for Ruby. If they can go ahead and finish that off with the passive pressure, that would be huge, but Swamp Grota is hearthing. They know that they've got this objective cleared for Bangbush, and they're going to go ahead and send Swamp Grota to deal with it. BRB soaking, on the other hand, is here. I'm not quite sure what they'll do. Actually lands the jet propulsion. BRB soaking just going in and gonna get a few extra hits, but that's actually a dead Lucio on the other hand. Mindhawk now jumping right in here, receives the Divine Shield, able to dodge the Wailing Arrow with it as well, gets jumped on by this Punisher, and Mindhawk certainly, hold on a second, I was gonna say is in danger, but so is Lobber. Now Fish taking much damage from that Mephisto, will actually be next to go down. Mindhawk is in here getting healed by that Uther Ghost, and jump lands onto both remaining members of Inting for Ruby in the bottom lane. Blessed Shield coming out, setting up the double kill right there. Lobber with the timing. And now with a quite healthy 60% health Punisher. I always want to call it the Immortal, but the Immortal's on Battlefield of Eternity. This is a Punisher. Bangbush stepping forward. Lobber and Bishops both very low. No healer on the scene, I must remind you, as Gunner Blade Storming. Sorry, that's actually BRB soaking. Gunner played Samuro last week. BRB soaking, hitting that Blade Storm in the backline, trying to do anything they can to dissuade the members of Bangbush from securing this keep, but will not be able to do so. Bangbush, knowing that they do not have the capability of ending the game entirely, are going to go ahead and back off right there. And an immediate transition over to the mid-keep push, as Bangbush is fully aware that they have not only the level 20 advantage, but also the number advantage. Multiple members of Inting for Ruby about to respawn here, as Ana and Kerrigan with near identical death timers have respawned. This is now everyone alive, but still a slight 20 advantage for Bangbush. Bangbush does not look like they will pursue using it. Hold on a second. What? Okay, BRB soaking gonna go down. That is a Divine Shield. Bishop's able to bolt out of the storm away from that Kerrigan combo. After we saw, oh, Kerrigan landing a huge combo on the Ty in the backline. Level 20 has been secured for the members of Inting for Ruby, as Skoog is next to fall, thanks to Mindhawk just going absolutely crazy in the backline. Oh, the stun just barely not able to land on the Swamp. They would have loved to turn this into yet another kill right there. But I gotta say, what a way to respond to losing a member just before the level 20 fight right there by Mindhawk, able to just go in with no fear whatsoever. Now Gunner clearing out this top lane. The members of Inting for Ruby not being particularly aggressive with this 5v4 advantage that they have at the moment, falling back to their bruiser camp right here. Neither team on these siege camps. This is actually Bishops on the siege camp for Sylvanas. Notably, Nazeebo locking in that Ravenous Spirit upgrade at level 20 rather than the Vile Infection, despite having enough stacks to do so. I personally think that this is often the correct play, if not the majority of the time. Mindhawk getting a bit of clear in that mid lane right there. Notably, Uther will respawn after dying. Be aware of that. Fish may be going to int a little bit in these fights, trying to make as much use of that trait as possible. And now Bishop's pressuring over with Bang Bush. Both teams looking for the siege camp. Mindhawk fishing for the combo, is not able to find it. Jumps back in anyway, but it's just going to be a bit of a scuffle. Nobody fighting over anything too seriously just quite yet. Members of Inting for Ruby on the siege camp, but here's Lauber playing interference. He is their zombie while zoning him out from Gunner. Swamp Grota is all the way in that top lane. The members of Bangbush know that if they were to fight, the Samuro would out-rotate the Blaze, but Inting for Ruby backing off, looking for a hearth to the Kerrigan. The backline pressure from Mindhawk this game on the Kerrigan has been immense, but we actually see yet another gank onto the Samuro forming up right here. BRB Soaking swapping out using that Shikuchi, will be able to dodge, but he is now a sitting duck in the middle of the members of Bangbush. BRB Soaking would love to escape, hits another Shikuchi, just trying to dodge around with that stealth. Buy time for the members of Inting for Ruby, who are very far away from rotating, and BRB Soaking will go down. Fish hitting that benediction in the bush right there, potentially looking for a double stun combo. The members of Inting for Ruby feel compelled to play this 4-on-5. There is Fish looking for the double stun onto Blaze, not going to be able to find any follow-up, unfortunately. And Mindhawk now stepping forward. I believe that was a Storm Shield popped by Johanna. That is indeed exactly what it was. Mindhawk jumping onto Ty as before. Not able to find anything just quite yet. Bangbush not feeling particularly pressured here in this 5v4 advantage. They know Samuro is dead. Ravenous Spirit over the wall, however. Blaze bunkering all by himself. Not going to be able to find any kills for Inting for Ruby. And now at this point, Bangbush cruising into completing this objective. Lauber gets stunned, however, by Mindhawk, but Ty booping him on out of there. Mindhawk has to bolt forward, but Gunner goes down first in this fight. Nox looking to get pressured by Skoog. Skoog is in there, trying to finish off Nox. Will do it with auto attacks, it seems. Fish goes down. Fish about to respawn soon, looking to heal Mindhawk, who's just in the middle of everybody on the side of Bangbush. Not able to find it. Fish has respawned, looking for the benediction double stun, and will go down. With so many members of Inting for Ruby dead, Bangbush surely thinking about ending the game. BRB Soaking now stepping in here, trying to interfere with the members of Bangbush, get whatever damage they can, swapping on out after baiting the Punisher jump. Well done right there. But with so many teammates dead, this is surely going to be a core attempt on the side of Bangbush. I personally think they don't even need to try to kill this Samuro. They should just walk up and hit the core. And that is indeed what's going on here. For every member of Bangbush whose name is not Ty, as Ty actually continues to chase the Samuro down. Meanwhile, the members of Bangbush hitting this core. The members of Inting for Ruby, of course, about to respawn as BRB Soaking has now hearthed. Gunner on the scene, but this is a very healthy Punisher. It's going to be a lot to try and save this. I think it's too much to deal with as core is dropping rapidly. Drops under 50% now. BRB Soaking trying to get whatever chip damage they can on the side lane. But this will indeed be game number 1, going to the side of Bangbush. Unfortunately, Crushinator's internet appears to still be down as we are waiting on him. You hate to see it, but still, what a game right there. I did not expect to see those successful ganks onto Ty in the side lanes. I'm always a little bit surprised whenever I see a Samuro get ganked, honestly. He feels kind of ungankable to me, but maybe that's just because I play Tracer and I have no way to take him out of stealth outside of Pulse Bomb, and that's not the most reliable method compared to just a simple AoE. Very well done by the members of Bangbush. Let's go ahead and flash that post-game scoreboard right here. Notably, a very high amount of damage done by Kerrigan. And what I must point out, chat, is that whenever you are a melee character leading the game in damage, that means you were popping off. Maybe not necessarily popping off, maybe that's not the right word, but that means you were at least in there doing a lot of damage, because you don't have the advantage of a ranged character of just being able to necessarily walk up and chip the enemy team for a few extra hits. No, if you're a melee assassin, that means you've just been fighting a lot right then and there. You could go bullet spray, then you could unstealth him. While that is true, Cavalier Guest, you can't melee if you don't have a valid target nearby. So you could de-stealth Samuro as long as something else was also in melee range, and that is an extremely significant restriction. If bullet spray allowed you to press melee even if nothing was in range, then there would be a lot of interesting tech in allowing you to de-stealth heroes with it. Or you could parting gift to reveal him. That would be also... I guess that's technically true. I can't disagree with that. The consistency of it, I might question a little bit right there. As well as he could simply walk away during the 1.25 seconds while you wait to appear at your recall location. But it would take him out of stealth if the parting gifts landed. I can't disagree with that. We are still waiting on Crush. And we have here in game number 2 today, Bangbush versus Inting for Ruby. That first map pick was by Inting for Ruby, and now game number 2, Inting for Ruby going to also pick the second map, Tomb of the Spider Queen, giving first pick over to Bangbush. Let's take a look at the schedule for today. I will remind you, chat, if you would look at my stream title, we have 5 best of 2s today. A bit of a non-standard situation right here. Oxygen versus Rage Quit Gaming was forced to be rescheduled from Sunday to Saturday due to some scheduling conflicts with CCL, so we will have 5 series today and 3 series tomorrow. Both teams now looking like they might be ready. We are asking... And Caldor is arguing with the members of Inting for Ruby about their Nazebo level 20 pick in the chat. That's funny. All right. I'm not going to say anything other than that's funny. Both teams are ready to get started. We're about to take it into game number 2 of Bangbush versus Inting for Ruby. Up next is going to be Three-Legged Cat versus Oxygen Esports. That will be, of course, Oxygen Esports' first series of the day, but not their last. Anticipate where he will be in Telefrag, that guy? Oh, that's true, yeah. No, Telefrag could also damage somebody out of stealth. See, guys... This has been good for me, okay? We're discussing all the different extremely inconsistent ways that you could counter stealth with Tracer. And it looks like Crushinator is on the phone with his internet service provider and has not been able to fix his internet just quite yet. No worries, I have informed him. Looking forward to your return, whenever that may be. Hopefully we can get Crushinator back here soon. Hopefully the ISP gods will grace him. If not, we're just gonna have to fly solo for a little while longer. Caldor was making the argument that Ravenous 20 got no value because of instant interrupt in the chat. Alrighty, and we see Hogger banned out by the members of Bangbush as well as Avala. Notably, Inting for Ruby, large fans of double support. I see them run it week after week, and of course, to me, that screams Vala ban, or at least it makes perfect sense to me. Vala, one of the classic hyper carries for a double support composition.
Oh, this is my jam.
It's going to be yet another Lucio first pick, this time by Skoog. Wondering what exactly is going on right there, as Ty is not the one to pick, maybe a little bit of shenanigans, and Inting for Ruby just wants to run it right back. They feel confident in the Kerrigan strategy, and honestly, I think that it showed some bright moments in game number 1. Yes, Inting for Ruby did not win game number 1, but a big reason of what was keeping them in that game and what led to some of their biggest moments of hope and winning team fights was the ability of that Kerrigan to aggress forward right there. So it is going to be yet another Uther Kerrigan in the 2-3, and this is an early Leoric pickup for the members of Bangbush. I'm glad Mockery is learning from us, hell yeah. You know, I really appreciate the opportunity to learn about the game. I am only a lowly Grandmaster. I say that like Grandmaster inherently means that much. Grandmaster does mean you decently understand the game, but there is a whole ocean of difference between competitively understanding the game and understanding the game well enough to hit Grandmaster. The first time I hit GM, it was because I could play Tassadar well, not because I could play Heroes of the Storm well. And now Stukov gonna be banned out by the members of Bangbush. Inting for Ruby here. Let's see what they pick up. Knowing that Swamp Grota has picked up an early Leoric, are we going to continue to see more of the same draft here? As it is indeed 3 out of 4 so far, identical to last game. This time though, the Samuro being exchanged out for a Blaze. Blaze going to always be a priority pick in the current meta. He is, of course, a strong offlaner, especially when you put him on a map where wave clear is so prioritized as it is on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Lauber gonna pick up that Anubrak this time around, and Ty on the Ty Kiss. How fitting! GG Ty Kiss. Ah, you love to see it, alright. And let's see what we see from the members of Inting for Ruby right here with their 5th pick. Tychus. Sheen, thank you for the year's subscription. Appreciate you. Welcome back to the stack. And now for our 5th pick, we have Gunner on the Jaina. For Inting for Ruby, still a double support composition right here, but notably a double support composition that seems to be extremely heavily oriented toward burst damage. They don't have a typical hyper carry that's going to pump out lots of range sustained damage. Instead, Jaina, Kerrigan, Uther, Blaze, even the Ana with the sleep darts able to follow up with those. This is an extremely bursty double support comp right here is what we're going to see from the members of Inting for Ruby on Game 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen. GG Ty, more like GG Tychus, you beat me to it? Ah, let's go. Currently waiting on this game to get started. I think this is going to be a good one right here. Some solid maps being chosen. And I gotta say, even though Braxis Holdout is in the pool, I don't think I've seen a single Masters Clash team actually choose it yet. And it almost makes me wonder if I'm ever going to see it, honestly. I've seen it come through in the bans. I'm really curious, just before we start here, what actually were the map bans? Yep, that is indeed a Bangbush Braxis Holdout ban, followed up by an Inting for Ruby ban right there. Let's go ahead and take a look in game. Meanwhile, on the right side, Mindhawk calling out Deja Vu. I've just been in this draft before. That's what, Initial D? Hell yeah. Alrighty. In game number 2, final game of our first series out of 5 for today, we have Fish on the Uther, Mindhawk going to be playing Kerrigan, Nox on that Ana, Gunner playing Jaina, love the mount, love that mount Skinnergy as well, BRB soaking on the Blaze, and for the left side on Bangbush, we have Lauber and the Anubrak, Bishops playing Sylvanas, Ty on the Ty Kiss, Skoog on that Lucio this time, a little bit of role swapping, Skoog was the Mephisto last game, I must remind you, and Swamp Grota going to be playing that Leoric. Both teams now setting up here at level 1. Gunner getting a quick blizzard onto the minion wave right there, as Jaina often does. Stun combo lands onto Lauber. Rather, just a Hammer of Justice, not quite a combo, but Lauber Burrow charges right on out of there. Bishops, knowing that they don't have a ton of teammates with them, will back off, as this is actually a heavy rotational interference right here. Skoog, Grandpa Simpsoning his way into this area, will back right on out, as we actually see a huge combo onto Bishops. I watched the map that time. I didn't miss that kill, chat. Alrighty. And that is first blood of the game going over to Inting for Ruby. Bangbush notably taking a gamble trying to interfere with the Blaze's rotation, but it has actually actually they who lose to first blood in the moment. Now Skoog playing deep interference as BRB Soaking has yet to actually be able to go to bottom lane, and here is yet another kill as Bangbush is paying the price for these attempted interferences on BRB Soaking's rotations. However, I say that their XP advantage for Inting for Ruby is not massive by any means. It's almost negligible. And the tower in the bot lane, rather the gate, already going down for BRB Soaking. An interesting choice of priority for Bangbush here in this early game. What are level 1s, Mr. Streamer? Thank you so much. I always forget to bring these up. I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and take a look at those right there. I'm so used to casting with the normal UI that just shows the talents all the time and you don't need to bring them up. As now Lauber stuns Fish in this mid lane, setting up Ty to do big damage, but Mindhawk's presence does deter the rest of the members of Bangbush from looking for the kill. And now a bruiser camp being secured by the members of Inting for Ruby. No camps for Bangbush so far, just quite yet. And some pressure as Bishops pops the black arrows in this bottom lane. Fish is looking for the rotation. Ty and Lauber, though, playing interference. Now with Bruiser Camp in mid, everybody cycling on over to it. Bangbush wants to clear it. Inting for Ruby wants to keep it alive. Ooh, jet propulsion avoided by the burrow charge with Lauber. And now stun combo just barely doesn't land onto Ty, able to avoid it. He's A-okay. Lauber taking big damage from the crossfire from Blaze. Lauber now rotating over, going to get stunned out by Fish, setting up some damage from Gunner, but here's Skoog on the backline. Lauber taking big damage, will go down, and this looks like a whole different game so far. Nearly same composition, but 3 kills to 0 in favor of Inting for Ruby. I'm just so used to it being the other way around. No flames, sorry, Inting for Ruby. And now BRB Soaking and Swamp Grota exchanging a little bit of damage here in this bottom lane. And this is going to be some early turn-in pressure from Inting for Ruby as they try to get objective number 1. Bangbush, on the other hand, taking out their bruiser camp. Let's take a look at those level 4 talents right there. Only 2 levels late, you know how we roll. Alrighty, and we might as well just keep it up in a second when we go ahead and see those level 7s. Now, Gunner right here about to back off, is getting chased down by Skoog and Lauber. Unfortunately, a bit of anti-synergy right there between the Lucio and the Anubarak, booping Gunner out of the Impale, not going to be able to find the stun combo. Level 7s have been achieved for the members of Inting for Ruby. We'll flash those talents back up in a second when Bangbush gets their 7s, but this is now a Bangbush mid-push thanks to the help of their bruisers. However, first objective of the game has been secured for the members of Inting for Ruby. BRB Soaking now getting absolutely run down. Woo. That Lucio always going to be a nuisance for Blaze right there, able to absolutely bother Blaze, just turning what should have been a slight little excursion to mid lane into losing 60% of his overall HP. BRB Soaking missing the jet propulsion in bot lane right here as Swamp Grota getting a little bit of bullying done. Ooh, Swamp Grota actually wraith walking forward now, and he does not have it. BRB Soaking surely communicating this to his teammates. Swamp Grota taking big damage in the meantime. An interesting decision to wraith walk right there. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. Now Inting for Ruby has 4 members here in this bottom lane, just pushing the closest available lane. Make that actually 5 members, looking for the stun over the wall onto Tykiss. Not going to be able to find him. And you might be like, Mockery, are you really going to stretch out this Tykiss thing all the way throughout the entire game? And I would say you bet your bottom dollar I'm gonna do it every time. Now the members of Inting for Ruby cycling out of bot lane, heading towards top. They would love to repeat their kill onto Bishops from earlier, but Bishops is gonna get right on out of there. And not a hugely productive first objective for Inting for Ruby, but they do have a nice cushy little half-level lead right here. Inting for Ruby sitting tight in mid lane. Bangbush does have an available first objective. Lauber losing half his HP in a bit of a scuffle. Jaina on this bottom siege camp in the meantime. Mindhawk stepping forward very aggressively despite not having his Jaina anywhere nearby. Looks like he's going to be A-okay though. Members of Bangbush looking to get a turn in as it doesn't look like Fish will actually go for the interrupt. Fish going for gems in top lane instead. Mindhawk getting aggressed by Bangbush, now losing his HP rapidly. Uther's here to deny the burst. It's a double support comp. It's so hard to go for those burst kills into double support. 10 advantages have been achieved for Inting for Ruby. Mindhawk chasing Bishops after the Shadow Wave, not able to find anything. Skoog stun combo does not land from Mindhawk, will back off right there. And now losing Lauber just as Bangbush would have loved to push with this objective. You hate to see it, but meanwhile, here's BRB soaking in that bot lane. Will get eternally bothered by that Lucio right there. Always able to just bother Blaze. Blaze hates when gankers are able to get behind him, of course. He's both very susceptible to body blocking because of his large hitbox and slow movement, as well as his only mobility ability being interfered with by body blocking. So anytime you can get behind him, you can offer those pushbacks. It's going to punish Blaze a decent bit. Mindhawk looking for the stun combo, but Skoog just barely able to avoid it. Level 10s have been achieved for both teams right here. And now the objective still punishing for Bangbush, still pushing out. Mindhawk in the middle of this lane right here. Cocoon goes out onto Uther as Bangbush looks for the kill onto Mindhawk. Fish able to get out just in time to provide the Divine Shield to Mindhawk. There's Wailing Arrow though, will finish him off. Gunner now here getting chased down by Lauber. The cleanse from Fish will be able to ignore the CC with Kerrigan dead. Bangbush setting up for the immediate push. They don't need web weavers, they've got an Odin. Now, especially with black arrows as well. There you see Lucio interfering with Blaze yet again, able to boop him right out of the jet propulsion. And wow, Gunner just absolutely melting underneath the burst pressure right there. Not having Fish in the lane as Fish is soaking out the top lane, able to get deleted. Good punish by Bangbush, who now rotate towards BRB soaking yet again. BRB soaking now here, and Mindhawk actually is the kill target, it seems. Will get stunned out, but no, nobody gonna drop just quite yet. BRB soaking getting a bit of oil right there, and this is indeed another subwoofer pickup by Lucio. Expect to see not a spam of Lucio boops, but instead a few Lucio boops that push very far back. Inting for Ruby clearing out their bruiser camp. Bangbush will do the same as they dump off the gems on their frontliners right there. And I gotta say, as a frontliner on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you really need to take advantage of these moments between fighting to dump off the gems, because whenever there is any level of contesting on these objectives, you will need to be the one zoning for your teammates, and it's much harder for them to zone for you for the capture. BRB soaking, not landing the jet propulsion, and the bruiser camp being heavily delayed by the members of Bangbush right there, which is going to easily aid in getting the bruiser advantage. And now this is going to be a freely cleared bruiser camp actually by Bangbush, and they're now going to have yet another advantage coming down mid lane, and they also have as well the advantage in terms of numbers. Hold on a second. Numbers of gems. Swamp Grota landing the Entomb onto Nox, but not going to be able to find any follow-up right then and there. Mindhawk is in here, receives the nano boost from Nox, goes in and deletes Lauber. Swamp Grota is next. It's a double kill. Mindhawk stepping forward very aggressively right there. I don't know what aggressively is, but anyway, we have Skoog in the bottom lane looking to get a little bit of soak right here, picking up this globe for himself, and now gonna skate right on out of here before anybody on Inting for Ruby can chase him out. But what a well-played team fight by Inting for Ruby right then and there. Gonna get the interrupt over the wall from Tychus. Nox now turning in their gems. Both teams have enough gems to get it, and this will be an objective for the members of Inting for Ruby. We see yet another foray into the bottom lane here. Bangbush loves to just gank this Blaze as often as possible. BRB soaking is in fact not soaking at the moment as he knows the danger. Mindhawk not able to find the stun combo onto Lauber. Hold on a second, wait, I spoke too soon. I thought he was aware of the danger, but no, here we see Blaze absolutely camped as they wait out the entire bunker. Bangbush now will finish off BRB soaking. There it is, those gems are just gone. Inting for Ruby pushing opposite lane as they are aware that the members of Bangbush are bot lane. Gonna be able to get at least this fort in the meantime. But you hate to lose BRB soaking in those crucial moments right there. Certainly a penchant for targeting the offlane in this series from Bangbush. Ooh, Mindhawk looking for yet another over-the-wall combo. Does not land it this time like he did in the Infernal Shrines game. That was still one of the sicker plays I've seen in MC so far. Unfortunate that it couldn't lead to victory, however, and now Inting for Ruby will back off, having opened up the map a bit right here. A surprisingly even game. Slight XP advantage in favor of Bangbush. Both teams now down 2 forts at the moment, as Mindhawk is all the way in there. Hold on a second, looks for the stun combo, not able to find it onto Leoric. And both teams just gonna go ahead and walk away. Hold on a second. Both teams would love to secure this bottom siege camp, however, but instead it looks like Inting for Ruby gonna back off and simply let Bangbush have it. Swamp Grota able to deposit his gems as 16 advantage has been secured for the members of Bangbush. Let's take a look at those talents. Level 16 just around the corner for the members of Inting for Ruby. Mindhawk eternally lurking out of vision, would love to get a pick off whenever possible. Ooh, here's a bit of a flank right here. Level 16s have been achieved for Inting for Ruby. Lauber now walking away. Swamp Grota looking for the creepy hand out of the wall. And Tomb lands onto Mindhawk, however, receiving the healing from both his supports. There's the active reload from Nox. Gonna be just fine. And now the defense is going to continue from the members of Inting for Ruby. Gunner clearing out that bottom lane. Meanwhile, BRB Soaking and Mindhawk focusing on mid. And of course, the resulting pressure from Bangbush focusing on this top lane. Fish and Lauber vying for control of this bush right here. This bush naturally controls any angle. As long as Lauber has this angle flanked down, it means that Inting for Ruby will only be able to defend from inside the base and cannot look for a flank play. Mindhawk potentially looking for a stun over the wall, is not able to find it onto Skoog. Gunner now getting the clear in top lane, losing all the forts on the side of Inting for Ruby, but no keeps just quite yet, and now a full level lead has materialized in favor of Bangbush, who are heading towards this boss. Bangbush getting started with the boss right here. Inting for Ruby does not seem to be aware, or maybe they are, as now BRB Soaking, jet propulsioning in forward, will use the bunker. Bangbush still freely clearing that boss in the top lane. Fish looking for the deep flank, however. Fish popping that benediction. Oh, the Will of the Forsaken, able to avoid the stun combo. Now Swamp Grota utilizing that extremely long duration of the Wraith Walk, thanks to the ominous Wraith right there, whatever the hell it's called, the 13 talent. I will confirm that in just a second as Swamp Grota goes down, and it is in fact Ominous Wraith. Let's go. Alrighty. It's like Royal something? Royal Focus is the 16, alright? There's like a gajillion talents in this game, forgive me. And now the members of Inting for Ruby clearing out this bush in the top lane. Without Swamp Grota, Bangbush knows that they can't push it too hard, but their full level lead is preserved, and they're utilizing this time window while Inting for Ruby is clearing out that top lane to go for this bruiser camp. The members of Inting for Ruby rotating over early before this boss dies. Mindhawk stunned over the wall by Lauber, well done. Mindhawk actually stunning over the wall and hops right on in, but hops right back on out. Did Mindhawk try to Ultralisk over the wall? I'm just wondering why this Ultralisk was in lane and not helping defend. Regardless, Gunner able to go ahead and clear out this boss right there. I question clearing the boss before the catapult. I feel like it would be a little bit more efficient to go for the catapult first. Regardless, now Bangbush, what's on their minds is securing level 20 advantage. If you ask me, that bruiser camp probably could have been delayed so that they could have pushed it with level 20. This bruiser camp going to push a little bit too early right there, but regardless, Bangbush 1 gem off of getting the turn in. They will secure it right here with Lauber clearing out this top side. Lauber now going to back off and look for the turn in right here. Inting for Ruby would love to clear it, but they have to go with these bruiser camps, and I see this bruiser camp here not looking to push with it for 20. They want to push with web weavers for 20. See, this is why these guys are the pros, and I'm just here commentating, all right? And now Bishop's pressuring that top lane. Inting for Ruby gonna be forced to clear it out, and of course this entire defense by Inting for Ruby will be forced to be done down level 20. Angbush stepping forward right here, about to lose their Bruiser spell armor. I've accidentally zoomed in on a player. Here's Mindhawk stepping in for the flank. Not able to find anything just quite yet as they jump out. A couple ults being exchanged. We saw a Cocoon and a Wailing Arrow right there. Notably, Swamp Grota's Entomb still available, and Swamp Grota, of course, does have the Buried Alive. That is going to be a concern for the members of Inting for Ruby. Swamp Grota would love to find it right here as we now look for the flank. I'm going to bring those talents back up. I thought we might see a fight, but no. Bangbush pressuring out onto this bottom keep. Inting for Ruby already lost their mid keep, and bottom keep will be next. Top keep actually also down as well. No keeps available for Inting for Ruby. They have an entirely naked and exposed base right here, and that passive pressure means that this is going to be an uphill battle for Inting for Ruby. Level 20 is now achieved for both teams. Kerrigan locking in that Assimilation Blades. I knew what it was called. I was just testing you, chat. And now Bangbush taking in that Siege Camp in bot lane. Inting for Ruby, seeing the Siege Camp taken by Bangbush, knows that they can go ahead and get a turn-in right here. They would love to do so to try and alleviate some of the pressure on these lanes. Ooh, we see Lauber going in for the stun onto Fish. Benediction from Fish looking for that double stun combo. Kerrigan right in the thick of things once they pop out of that Cocoon is actually going to jump onto Swamp Grota. Buried Alive onto Jaina, not going to lead to significant follow-up. And surprisingly, nobody going down in that fight right there. Both teams going to fight for just a moment and then reset. Of course, with how far back these web weavers are, not going to be a significant amount of push pressure for the side of Inting for Ruby, but this will allow them to take a little bit of a step outside of the base right here and look for some picks that they can hopefully turn into some push. Now Inting for Ruby stepping up forward. Web Weaver still has about half his HP. Mindhawk very aggressively positioned, notably not fearing anything, fishing for those combos. They know they've got a double support. Mindhawk dropping down to about 30% HP, however. Lauber still yet to go in, and there's the Buried Alive, immediately responded to with the Divine Shield as Mindhawk is able to hop right on out of there. Big red button hitting everybody, though, and now the pressure is on with Mindhawk already down. Bangbush simply stepping forward. Both the DPS in this double support composition have fallen. Nox is next. Fish is next. Quad kill. BRB Soaking is running away in the sideline. Will Hearth, but this is such a tough defense. Only Fish and BRB Soaking able to be alive. No real source of damage to defend the core right here. It would take a miracle for Inting for Ruby to avoid the loss in this moment. BRB Soaking taking big damage in the meantime. Fish able to get some heals onto them. BRB Soaking just trying to stay alive, standing in their flames, but it is now left to just Fish, who steps inside the spawn. Fish conceding the game. It appears over to the members of Bangbush. Does not see a point in contesting, and this will be a Game 2 victory, completing the sweep for the members of Bangbush. What a series right there. There were honestly moments where I thought Inting for Ruby had the game in both of those games right there. Just able to find some really crucial picks in some of those team fights, able to look for it, especially when they came out in that early game, getting those first 3 kills of the game. The attempted interferences of BRB Soaking from Bangbush leading immediately to counter kills from Inting for Ruby. I really thought that game 2 was going to go their way. Highly unfortunate that it did not, and we now have our post-game scoreboard loaded up right here. Let's take a look. Women want me fish fear me hat. I see you guys redeeming the hat. I don't have it. You may have noticed that I'm in a different room now, friends. I am going to be streaming from this room from here on out because this is going to be where my vocal booth is going to be. I finally have enough room in my house to be able to have a dedicated space to do voiceover. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and so I finally got it right here. And I'm simply waiting on a couple parts to be delivered today, and then I'll be able to build that booth, and then once that's built, you'll see it in the background of our streams right here. talents and whatnot available. And next lobby is already up. Let's go ahead and hop right on in there.